guys, what's up? It's Brad.
Unless.
So it's the second week already of American Horror Story Hotel. This episode was called Chutes and Ladders, and it's pretty crazy. Oh, everything was better. The acting was better. The writing was better. The overall quality of the entire episode was better on everybody's parts, I thought.
Yes, me too. And Gaga did a lot more dialogue. You could see that, that she actually can act, which I was very surprised, and very enjoyable.
She actually seemed as though she might have had acting training, because
ability, yeah.
I heard in an interview that she went to acting school in New York City for 10 years, I think, and this is her really first big acting job, and she had some intense dialogue and some intense scenes that she had to really pull off in this episode. I thought she was amazing.
I was very, very happy with what she did. So, and also, the scenes that she was in, and on this episode, she had a lot more, like I was saying, she had a lot more parts, a lot more dialogue. She did so much more. The other one, just little bits here and there. She walked by, very quiet, so we couldn't tell anything really how she was going to be in it. Well,
yeah, so, and then we get introduced to Finn Wittrock's character. He played Dandy last year on Freak Show. His name in the show is Tristan Duffy, and he's basically a meth addict, a coke addict, and he's a male model that Gaga basically meets when Will Drake is having like a fashion model kind of show in the hotel. He's one of the models, and that's how Gaga meets him. And I thought he was amazing in that episode.
He was.
He just, you completely believed that he was this character. Like, he didn't seem like Dandy. He didn't seem like Finn Wittrock. He seemed like Tristan Duffy.
And also their chemistry was unbelievable. It really was. Even better than the Bone Road. She was just so attracted to his anger, which I thought was really interesting. That anger is what attracted her, and the way that they did it and how she turned him, I just thought it was very, very smart.
Yeah, she said Tristan, she basically within, 10 minutes of meeting her, he turns her. He's like completely good with it. And they don't call it vampirism or whatever. They don't say vampires. They call it the virus. That's like how they allude to vampirism. And basically he gets turned and all of his scars go away, and he's like, has no blackheads, no zits, no nothing.
He's loving it. He's loving it.
Yeah, and then they have sex like all over the apartment like 510 times.
But poor Bomer, he gets just totally booted, and I kind of felt bad for him, but you know what? Hey, if Tristan's gonna do the job and it's gonna be more exciting with Tristan, more power to her. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, and as we said before, Gaga she had some intense scenes with Finn Wittrock that she had to do with Bomer this episode, and she was really, really good. Like, I honestly thought she was good. Like, really good.
Yes, she was.
So, in flashbacks to 1925 in Los Angeles, Iris, which is played by Kathy Bates, is telling Detective John Lowe, Wes Bentley, about the hotel's past and the first owner. And he was a completely whacked and sadistic guy named James March, who is Evan Peters. And we get introduced to him for the first time in this episode.
And he's the king of slaughterhouse. I mean, all he did was slice people's heads off. Obviously, he was the most dangerous of them all. And we don't know still who is his wife. He showed that he had a wife, and Gaga mentioned that she had somebody in the past that was like nobody else, and no one could ever compare. But they did not state that she was with him or his wife. So we really don't know yet.
Yeah, we have an idea that Gaga may have been his wife. And basically, yeah, he was building the hotel, and he built all these chutes and like different rooms to dispose of the bodies once he was done killing them. Slice them open while he's having sex with them, slam people's heads with hammers, just because he wanted to, just because he could. And I think that they said since there's no body, since he's disposing of the body, it's not a crime. So that was his basically up way of thinking.
The other thing I thought was really cool is they brought the kids into it more, because before it seemed like they just had them in a room and that was just basically it. But I liked how Holden had a little bit more of a part. They just showed what the kids were really there doing, what they were for, how their part of the show actually is. And I thought that was kind of cool too, and I'm kind of curious what they're gonna do with them in the upcoming shows.
And Evan Peters' is minion, like his minion, the one that follows him through everything basically and gets rid of the dead bodies and cleans the disgusting linens and everything. It's she's a ghost too, that we learn in this episode. Yeah, she was a ghost in that. We saw her in present day in the hotel.
Hey!
Sophie!
Oh, gross.
So basically the scene ends with Tristan on his phone, like getting this random guy on an app or whatever and waiting for him to walk into the hotel. And he walks into the hotel and they start kissing and they go upstairs and he like lays him down on the bed and they start to have sex. And then Lady Gaga's there and Tristan just slices his throat open and starts chowing down on his blood and like offers Gaga a little bit. She's like, no, I'd rather watch. And she turns over and starts touching herself. This is Ryan Murphy's deranged thinking. It makes me nervous for him because
Yeah, she just laid back and kind of watched the guy bleeding to death and Tristan on, all over him, sucking his blood. Very, very. Ugh.
And then he said, just because I'm sucking a guy doesn't mean I'm gay.
Gay, right.
And Gaga was like, sounds good. Yeah, and he freaking pulled his pants down to get some action up the tushy. Yeah, and then it ends with the guy dead, and then Gaga rolls over the dead guy, and then Gaga and Tristan start making out with his mouth all gross and bloody. And it ends.
Yep.
Horror Story, Season 5, Episode 2, over. It
Much
was
better than the first.
Okay, so instead of doing in the letters, we're gonna rate it out of 10, like 1 out of 10.
1 to 10.
So I'm gonna give it. I think everything improved, and I just completely loved that. It was almost one of my favorites of the whole series. So I would say an 8.5 out of 10.
8.5.
Solid 8.5.
I would have to go with, because I gotta leave some room for improvement. I'm gonna go with an 8.
The only reason I'm not giving it like a 9 or 10 is because it's very convoluted at times and it gets confusing, kind of hard to follow.
To leave some room for it, to get better, which I'm sure it will.
Anyway, this review is getting really long and I don't want to bore you.
Yes.
We're boring.
I want you to come back and watch us again.
Yes. So next Thursday or Friday, you'll see episode 3 review. It's called Mommy. I can only imagine what's gonna happen.
Mommy.
Anyway, give it us a like, a subscription from each and every one of you, and
like us.
Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Yes, thank you, and adios.
Bye.
Mwah.